The Black Ops 6 beta has come and gone, and I was able to play during both weekends. While I'm sure the majority of people watching this video played at least a little bit of the beta, I still want to give my thoughts in case some of you didn't, or you did and just missed some things that come with the long sessions of playing with the game. Now keep in mind, this is a beta. While most things about the gameplay aren't expected to change, external issues when it comes to bugs and glitches will most likely improve by the time the game officially releases, and we will get into those because there are actually quite a handful of them. To start things off, this game is a Treyarch game, meaning you're going to get the Treyarch treatment, where balance is more of a priority, 3-lane maps are commonplace, and a slower paced COD in general with a higher time to kill. That's personally what I prefer compared to the other companies that make COD, but let's get into the actual new stuff. The first thing that comes to mind is the omnidirectional movement. For those that aren't aware what this is, it's basically a system that allows you to move and look around more freely without as many restrictions compared to the other COD titles. For example, if you're running in one direction and want to strafe side to side, you could still be running while performing that strafe without looking in the general direction. It also affects your aiming and diving. If you dive, your vision is no longer locked to a certain radius. You could literally dive forward, backwards, left, right, and still aim all around you. Even when prone, you can now aim an entire 360 degrees without the game stopping you or slowing you down. So you know those lovely moments when you're trying to track someone and the game says something like prone blocked or something along those lines? That's no longer going to be a thing. I'm sure if I experiment with it, I'll find spots where you still get that error message, but it's going to happen way less with this new movement system. While it's not the most revolutionary mechanic, I still think it's really cool to be able to not be so restricted with camera angles. It's also really cool to hit shots like diving out of a window, doing a 180 midair, and just dunking on someone like an action hero. Treyarch also added body shields, but honestly, I kind of struggled to get this to work. Even when I didn't find much of a use for it. I think most people are just going to use this to troll since proximity chat is turned on when you're using it, and it looks like you're raw dogging someone. They also reverted back to the old prestige system, but since the game was capped at level 30 per player for the beta, it was pretty much impossible to see how far you could go, so we're just gonna have to trust them on this one. Gunsmith is still here. It's pretty much the same as what we got in Cold War and the Modern Warfare games, so if you like it, then here it is. But I know a lot of people just want to go back to the old basic system, but that ship sailed long ago. I'm just glad we don't have to deal with whatever the hell Modern Warfare 2 system was. Seriously, that was terrible. Please never do that again. Now let's get into the cons and the issues I had with the game. And like I said before, there are a handful of them. First off, the quality of the servers were pretty terrible. Hit registration was inconsistent. Packet loss was pretty much commonplace, at least on PC. Loading into a game can sometimes be a chore as it could kick you out during the loading phase. And the spawns. Holy fucking shit, these spawns are some of the worst I've ever seen in any game. Multiple times have I spawned right behind people have spawned behind me, sometimes entire groups would just completely spit roast me, and I've even had moments where an opponent would spawn right next to me, and we just run alongside each other for a good while before we realize it and go, hang on a second, you're not on my team, and we would just end it in an awkward 1v1. Treyarch said they tweaked it for the second weekend of the beta, but I'd argue it was even worse for that, so I don't know what the heck is wrong, but this really needs to be fixed. Obviously, this is the beta, so I'm sure this will be resolved or at least toned down by the time the game officially launches, but it was just really annoying to deal with. Some people say that the maps are pretty garbage, but I don't think so. I think part of it is because the spawns were so bad that they weren't letting people play the maps the way they were meant to be played, so maybe the maps will be better once the spawns get fixed. We would just have to play a lot more than a few weekends to truly judge these maps. I will say though, the only map that I genuinely had a bad experience with was the newest one, which is supposed to be the smallest one. It's supposed to be the shipment of the game, the map where you're supposed to grind out your camos or complete challenges. It's not for me. I don't like it in the 6v6 mode. I like it in a 1v1 or a 2v2 mode, but not in the casual 6v6 mode. And this wouldn't be a COD review if I didn't talk about skill-based matchmaking. Just like every other modern COD title, people hate it and want it removed. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's probably not going to happen. Some of you guys already know my stance on it. While I acknowledge that it's a problem, I really don't care, and sometimes I feel like I'm the only COD player that doesn't. I'm not the kind of guy that needs to drop 40 kills against a bunch of noobs just to feel something. I play COD to burn my brain out or whenever I'm taking a break from Counter-Strike and Valorant. Assuming Activision isn't lying out of their ass, they already proved that even toning down skill-based matchmaking led to players leaving the game, and games like Xdefiant already proved that people are going to complain about sweaty nerds no matter what, so skill-based matchmaking is here to stay whether you like it or not. And if you think this game is sweaty, because I see on the internet all the time that this game is so sweaty, it's so full of tryhards or whatever excuse they want to come up with, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I think it's time to hang up the controller, because this shit is pretty easy to navigate and play, especially now that the game has the least amount of boots on the ground movement restrictions we've ever seen in any COD game. And this is someone that plays COD strictly on a controller despite playing every other game on keyboard and mouse. So, is this game worth $70? In my opinion, if you're already asking that, probably not. I'd say if you enjoyed the beta but are still hesitant, I'd definitely wait for the Christmas sale if you can wait that long, because even new COD games can go on sale for as low as $40. For that kind of price, yeah, I think it's worth it, especially since most of the issues I mentioned will hopefully be fixed by then, along with at least one season's worth of content being added to the game. This is also Treyarch we're talking about. These guys have yet to completely disappoint the COD community. Meanwhile, everyone already lost trust with Infinity Ward with Sledgehammer on the fence. Hell, Cold War is still the best modern COD game by far, and that was released all the way back in 2020. I still recommend it to this day for those that are either getting into COD for the first time or veterans that want something that feels close to classic Call of Duty while having a healthy population. That and all the maps and modes for zombies are free, so even if the population goes down, you still have a lot to do. So that is going to be it for this review. What are your guys' thoughts on Black Ops 6 so far? Let me know down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe for more content, and I'll talk to you all later.